Larry Stewart here. Welcome to the very first podcast for 5 West Music 2020. My guest today is our boss, Denise Strother, CEO of 5 West Media Group, 5 West Music, ERA Strother, and a bunch of others. She is the rock star here. So anyway, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you, Larry.
Good to see you too.
I'll tell you what, it's been a year, hasn't it?
It has been a year. It's been a good year, a growing year, and hitting 2020, trying to do a lot of things.
We're gathering up pieces from your tour of 2019 and all the music that you've put out. I'm very proud that 5 West Music has been able to be a part of your career and really just watch it.
Well,
it's
I
just
appreciate
pretty cool.
the opportunity that you given and all the other folks here that, working with me and letting me make music. It's an honor to have the opportunity to work with amazingly talented people back in Nashville and allow me to write songs and make music. I appreciate it, and we got more coming in 2020.
Yes, we do. Hold on, everybody. It's
Yes.
coming. Well, I don't think everybody gets to know is what we get to do behind the scenes with you. That is absolutely so cool. We've been able to experience a lot of things by you being a part of our company, and I find it to be exciting as well as the rest of the team does too. We get to do your social media and all the content and video and things that we get to do and share in your life, share in your career, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And as well as Restless Heart.
Yeah, we appreciate all the great work everybody does, especially just the day in, day out, helping us reach our fans. It's really important. That's really something that's really cool that we get to do in this day and time, is keep our fans
Engaged.
Engaged, there's the word. And
Yeah.
letting them know what we're doing, just, it makes a difference.
Well, with that being said, the music industry has changed over the years, and you started when? A while back?
1984.
Woo!
Yes.
Shut your mouth, Larry.
35 years we and I have been at this. Yeah.
That's when you joined Restless Heart.
Mhm.
In 84.
1984 is when Thanksgiving of 1984,
Wow.
which is just a couple of months ago.
So now it's 2020, Larry.
Mhm.
So I'm curious, how has artists changed from 1984 to now 2020? Is there a big difference, or are they pretty much the same?
Well, being an artist, yes, there's a big difference. The whole business of the music business has changed as far as recordings, as far as making music, as far as getting your music out there. Back then it was you get on a major label, and you get a chance to be on the radio. And there's still obviously something to that,
Sure.
but the business has changed. No more albums. So songwriters and we as writers don't get to be a part of somebody's great album project like you used to, because people are going to stop doing that. But the difference between then and now is just that whole business model of really people making a living. Songwriters, musicians, and all that's making a living.
Yeah,
What
the industry.
The industry. What hasn't changed is what hasn't changed is concerts. People still loving and wanting to be entertained. More, as much as it's ever been. Records are being set. To think that a country music singer could sell out multiple nights
Wow.
in a football stadium.
Go figure.
You want to? There were barely arena acts when I started, and small arena acts, and we were opening for all of them. We opened for Alabama. We
Wow.
opened for Hank Jr. We opened for Reba, and there were only a handful of gold and platinum albums and people doing arenas. I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, you know, we'd go out with the judge, we'd go out with people, and we do, you know, the Grand Ole Opry House type places all over, or clubs all over America. That's just what country music was. And to think that, I mean, the Chesneys, the Garth Brookses of the world, the so many artists of the world are out there selling out multiple nights in a football stadium. So that's changed a lot. Our genre has taken over America.
It really has. We've come a long way from hee-haw.
Well, that's perfectly said, you know. And I loved hee-haw. I watched it every week. I miss it. We missed that.
Restless Heart was on hee-haw. I found that out.
We did one. We got to do it one time.
That is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And you said the cornfield and the little dog.
That's just a little thing over there in the corner. So that's the cornfield. I mean, they make it look so cool on TV. So with the dog, you know, it's laid there, and they, you know, and then where oh where are you, you know, and all that stuff. It was so cool. But anyway, so but here is what's really happening now: social media.
Yeah.
Even the younger artists who are doing the major label out there having hits on the radio, doing that whole thing, not only do they get that and the hottest genre in America, they have social media. You can reach everybody in the world right now.
Over a post or a
right
tweet.
Now.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought that you could drop a single on social media?
Yeah. You can reach.
You just
the
drop it
world.
right there that day, bam, and everybody can hear it and listen to it and stream it immediately.
Yes, I know. I mean, so that's a big difference. You know, as far as, you know, staying engaged with your audience, and your audience can know exactly what you're doing, where you are. See, back in the day, you couldn't do that, nor did they want you to do. They wanted you to keep, you know, arm's length. You know, you just, you know, needed to be, you know, an aura about what you were doing, and keep everybody guessing, and you know, not really know where you are, don't want to see them before the show. It's just really kind of a mystery kind of a thing in the old days. Heck, not anymore.
No, they want to know behind the scenes.
I mean, we're talking, you know, Blake Shelton, you know, tells everybody what he's drinking and eating before the voice, then during the, and then after the voice, he's telling everybody what he's doing. Right. So, I mean, that is the new way, and I used to think that's kind of uncool. That's just a little too much of the artist, but I was wrong.
They want to know what you're doing and who you're doing it with and why.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way things have transitioned. It's just really crazy. But, you know, one of the biggest differences that I see, the way the music industry has changed now, between now and back then, it seemed to me that the artists had a lot more camaraderie than back then than they do now, because, you know, you used to all go to Music Row and you would hang out and do those kind of things. Now everybody records in their studios at home, and you never see anybody hardly.
Yeah, the whole Nashville aspect of the music industry has changed because the Music Row is almost gone. I mean, we'd go, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, man, we'd go to work. We'd go down the Music Row, writing with whatever songwriter or artist that we were writing with that day, go to the sub shop, and then, you know, it'd be packed, and say, hey, can I sit there? And it'd be Chesney. So you'd sit there and you know, see, you know, like I said, Garth a while ago, go in and get subs for his people at the office, all kinds of stuff like that. That camaraderie, there is a camaraderie among artists,
yeah,
but it's not the same. I mean, we spend more time together on the road than we do in Nashville now.
Yeah.
You know, because we all work together. We'll do a show, we'll do a festival, you know, or a fair, state fair, and run into, you know, our buddies, or, you know, our guys and gals that are artists out there, and catch up then. But there's not as much catching up when you're home. Everybody just kind of is doing their own thing, and there's really no place to go like Music Row was.
And hang out.
And hang out. Go, I mean, all the old stories of, you know, I mean, all the old artists used to go and hang out at, you know, Columbia Records and play pool, you know, just it was amazing. I mean, the hang was literally a hang, and they would go eat. They'd all go drinking at night all over downtown Nashville. It was nuts. Doesn't happen.
Well, you know, I would find that it is something lost there because, you know, when you get creative minds together and you bounce ideas off of one another, that's kind of something that is lost in it. You know, when you get everybody together, it builds some kind of energy that you can create this big thing. But it's kind of hard to do it when you're on the road. So I gathered that it is different.
We, Restless Heart, all of us, all of our pals, you know, that came up through the 80s and 90s, I believe lived through the greatest musical and songwriting moments ever in history.
Yeah.
You know, before that, there were obviously, you know, great songs and great artists, you know, in the 60s and all that. But once the 70s hit and then we hit the 80s when we started, and through the 90s and watched it grow, and the songwriting in the 90s and late 80s was so fantastic. And I'm not gonna sit here and say, you know, that it's not now.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It is.
But
different.
the magic, we're experiencing the magic of the 90s because the 90s are coming back. I mean, radio will tell you that, your fans will tell you that. We're seeing younger people come to our shows, singing every word to every song. It's just, you know, it just, the time has been good. Mm-hmm. To that style of music and those great songs, those great love songs, those great real life magical songs back then, and people are finding them. They're discovering them, and we're finding new artists. I mean, new fans everywhere we go. It's really so. So that tells me that what we're talking about, there was a magic. There was energy bouncing off the buildings, going up and down Music Row, 16th and 17th Avenue South, and boy, I missed those times.
I imagine I would too if I were you, because I like to be around like-minded people and to be able to grow my own career. And in order to do that, you got to get that on, feel it, you know, the energy, and it just really creates more ideas and more ways to be better.
There's no doubt about it, because back then you had to go to a song, you know, meet somewhere, you know, because we had codophones. We couldn't, you know, you didn't really have cell phones much. Can you believe I'm talking like this? But anyway.
Did you go to the phone?
So you had to, you had to call everybody at home. Okay, well, we'll be there at 10. You know, you had to do that, you know, instead of texting on the way. So you had all of that great camaraderie, and then you had to go in a studio with musicians, with a singer, and make that music and have all that wonderful creativity bouncing off the walls of the studio. That doesn't happen as much. I mean, it's just, it's minute how that happens just with the biggest artists, because now what you can do, you can sit there and start your song, and then you can send the files over to your buddy over there, and then you send the files over to the bass player over there. You can literally make a record and never be in the same room with anybody.
I've got to say, Larry, that is absolutely amazing.